It sucks to be in a long distance relationship. I always think that my partner is cheating on me. Our schedules and timeline never match, and we end up not talking to each other. I think I should end this long distance relationship. If you also are having these thoughts in your mind, let's try to understand the psychology of long distance relationship in today's video.
My name is Anmol. I'm a mental health practitioner, counselor, psychologist, career coach, and life skills trainer. I'm here to share my insights and learnings with you to tackle life challenges and attain your highest potential. Let's create balance in your life.
Hi everyone, I hope all of you are doing great. Welcome to my channel, Ask Life with Anmol, where we talk about some psychology based concepts and create balance in your life. The topic that we have chosen today is about long distance relationships. How successful are long distance relationships, and can we maintain a good long distance relationships? Are there any red flags related to long distance relationships? And do you think you are successful in being in a long distance relationship? So stay till the end to get answers to all these questions. In today's world, we are living in social media. We are having dating apps where with just one click, you can date people, see people across the globe, right? So because of these social media and online dating platforms, it has become very easy to get into a long distance relationship. But let's try to understand what does the global data has to say about long distance relationship. It says that 50% of the people in long distance relationship feel that their long distance relationship is successful. And what are the reasons for this? 58% people feel that effective communication and trust helps them to have a better long distance relationship. But there is some other data also. 37% think when they move in with the same person whom they were in long distance relationship for 1 year or 2 years, they break up within these 3 months, right? And let's understand what are the communication and other challenges. 66% side that lack of physical intimacy is the most significant challenge. 55% concerns about meeting the partner, that becomes a problem for them. And 50% think feeling of loneliness during relationship, that is why we have problem with the long distance relationship. Now let's try to find out what are the problems. I want you to listen to the problems of long distance relationship, and if you are in one long distance relationship, try to find out what is your problem, and then we will move forward with the issues. The first challenge that people suffer from in a long distance relationship is communication gap. Some people might be having their meetings when their partner is free. Some people might be busy in their household chores when their partner is free. So timings will never match. You have to take initiative to match the timings or find a middle time which works for both of you. And secondly, it is very easy to fake your emotions on WhatsApp. For example, let's say you are feeling at a disease, right? And you're not happy. Still, you can just type it out loud that I am not doing great, right? The intensity of that pain, that suffering, you will never be able to match up using your text conversations. And you tell me, it's very easy to have quarrel, misunderstanding, miscommunication when you're texting, right? It is very easy to have a verbal conversation on call or a video call. So video call is the best suitable method for communication if you are in a long distance relationship. Otherwise, it leads to a lot of fight and quarrel between people. Second is physical intimacy. Now, people who have love language as physical touch, this is the most important challenge for them in a long distance relationship. They want their partner to be with them. They want to spend time with their partner, going to movies, going to, in a location, in an amusement park, just spending time with them, right? So it becomes more difficult for the people who have love language as physical connection. They face lack of physical intimacy as one of the problems in a long distance relationship. Third is the emotional drift, right? So over time, some couples start growing emotionally distant without realizing it. They think that they have given enough in this relationship, and after some time, let's say 2 to 3 months, they think that it is normal. They stop putting the efforts in that particular relationship because they think that's worth it, right? If day-to-day sharing diminishes, or you're not talking with each other on a daily basis, that becomes a problem, and that leads to emotional drift. The next challenge is of future uncertainty. People think about it again and again: when we will close this distance, when we will be living together with each other without this long distance, and will my partner change if we get into a close-knit relationship? This uncertainty always keeps cracking in their mind again and again. So that is one of the issues people face in a long distance relationship. Next is unequal efforts. So if you are a person who is only planning the trips, making the calls, texting them, then it becomes burdensome for you. Why am I putting so much effort in this relationship, right? So in the long distance relationship, it is very easy for one of the partners to play a passive role, and the other person is playing an active role. They are doing all the planning. They are doing planning for the calls or the visit. You are not doing it. So if this is happening with you, then that's one of the issues in a long distance relationship. Then comes burnout and emotional fatigue. So again, it is related to the previous point. If a person is always in this mindset that they are planning the calls, visits, managing emotions can be exhausting, right? They are putting effort to keep up with that relationship. So that creates emotional fatigue in their mind. Next challenge that people face is financial strain. If you are studying currently, you're in your school or college, it is very difficult to visit that particular place for your partner and to maintain this relationship. And again, only if one person is planning their trips, they are carrying the financial burden, it might hamper their personal standard of living. They might have to compromise on their daily living because they are spending more money in traveling and making this relationship work, right? So try to see if you are the person who is putting a lot of financial strain because of the long distance relationship. And lastly, mental health challenge. We all know that long distance relationships are only 50% successful. The rest of the 50% face anxiety, depression, mental health issues because there is always a loneliness. They don't know what is the future of this particular relationship, right? So many people face mental health issues because of long distance relationship. So these were some of the challenges faced by a couple who is in a long distance relationship. So try to find out, you can pause the video if you want, what are the challenges that you are facing in your long distance relationship. Now let me share a research study with you which correlates the attachment style of a person and their behaviors towards the long distance relationship. Now, if a person who has secure attachment style, they have trust in their long distance relationship. They feel emotionally connected. They make efforts to meet the person, to plan calls with the person, right? So that is secure attachment style. Second is anxious attachment style. Now, these people always have this fear that my partner would be cheating on me. They want constant reassurance that you are committed to me, right? So these people always have this anxiety. There might be fights related to when the person is not picking up the call. They are ringing them again and again. They're not replying to their messages. That becomes a problem for anxious attachment style. And for avoidant attachment style, they generally value their independence. So that is the best thing for them. They can fake their emotions on call or on WhatsApp or on on the chat. They might feel relieved by the distance. They don't want to get into a real relationship, right? So they unintentionally push their partners away when in a long distance relationship, right? So that is how you can relate what is your attachment style and how you behave in a long distance relationship. If you haven't watched our video, we have created a video on understanding your attachment style. I'll link the description in the description box, the link of that particular video. So find out your attachment style based upon that video. Now let me share with you what happens to our mind, right? What happens to the neurotransmitters like dopamine when we are in a long distance relationship. So what happens is, I hope you understand, dopamine is a happy hormone, right? It's a reward hormone. When you do something great, you feel happy about it, it releases. But after some time, you feel lack of it. So how does LDR and these neurotransmitters are related? The first thing is anticipation. You anticipate, you wait for the call, you wait for the time to meet the partner. That becomes a high for you, that becomes a reward for you. You anticipate for it, right? Meet the partner, have the call, and then you again, what happens is the dopamine crash. So your dopamine crash, you now crave for the same experience, right? After the initial high that you had after meeting the person after the call, the brain may experience a low, leading to feeling of loneliness and sadness, right? After the call or the visit ends. This becomes an emotional roller coaster for the person. They wait for the person, then again this crash happens, again they meet for the next time, they plan for the next time. So most of the time you see, if you're in a long distance relationship, if you meet the partner, right? And after the visit ends, you start thinking about it. When is the next meet? When we are planning the next meet? Why? Because we are craving for that dopamine, right? So if you see, this is just a roller coaster ride for you. In the dopamine, it goes to up and down like this. And that hampers your brain, that hampers your mental health when you are in a long distance relationship. Now, let me share with you some psychologically tested tips to create a great long distance relationship that can eventually give you a peace of mind. The first thing you need to understand is emotional bond. In a long distance relationship, the first thing you have to do is create trust and emotional bond with the other person, right? So meeting, calls and messages needs to be at a greater amount in the first 2 to 3 months of your long distance relationship, right? If in the first 2 months only the other person is not taking initiative, you feel bored, talking to them, you have to make that extra effort for that call or for that visit, then it will not work for you. So first thing is, create an emotional bond with the person. You can share what did you eat, what did you do, your small things with the other person. Try to be vulnerable in the first 2 months with that particular person by meeting them or on a best video call, right? So create emotional bond, that's my first tip. Second tip is, create a routine for communication. As I told you, communication gap is the number one reason for the failure of long distance relationship. So you should set a deadline, right? That, okay, 9 to 10 p.m. we want to have a discussion. You can describe the type of conversation you want to have. Let's say you want to have a video call or a normal call, right? And you can tell your partner beforehand if this routine cannot be followed. If you have a prior commitment, family commitment, friends commitment, you can tell them that I cannot talk today, let's have a call tomorrow, right? That notification really helps them to reduce their insecurity about long distance relationship. And apart from having a regular routine, right, which might become very mechanical sometimes, you can plan something to spice things up, right? For example, virtual dates where both of you are dressing and it is very similar to a physical date. You can cook together, cook meals together. You can watch a movie together, right? You can, watch any episode, the favorite episodes that you have together, right? You can play online games together, right? So all these things can spice things up in your day-to-day communication plan. And one thing you should remember, people like surprises. If let's say you have a routine of 9 to 10 p.m. when you're giving them a call, just call them at any random moment. That will surprise your partner. That will help them to have a better understanding of you, and that will create or break that particular monotony that you might feel with a regular timely communication with the partner. So try this tip. Set goals and timelines for your relationship. That's very important to reduce insecurity about that relationship. So both of you need to plan that this long distance relationship will end in 6 months, will end in 1 year, will end in 2 years, and then we will be together. You should plan your trips beforehand, right? So that gives clarity to the other partner that the other person is interested in this relationship. the other person is not taking us for granted. Let's say you say to the other person, we are going with the flow, whatever happen will happen, right? That creates more insecurity in your mind, that hampers your mental health. So always talk at regular intervals about the timing, right? That what is the timing we will break this long distance relationship, what is the timing we will be meeting, can we create a calendar for meeting, right? So all these things helps. Second thing is keep your romance alive, right? As I told you, having intimate conversations with them, planning random calls with them, that's very important to understand. And you can give them some special gifts. For example, sharing the best food when they are late from office with them. You can do a delivery of their favorite food when they are late from office. In the morning, you can surprise them with a bunch of flowers. That would really keep the romance alive. Otherwise, it will become very mechanical. So all these small gestures will keep this love and romance alive in your relationship. The next thing you should remember is, how are you managing your conflicts in a graceful manner? It is very easier for you, to stop replying to their messages, not picking up their calls, right? Or sometimes blocking their numbers. That has become very common today, right? People start ghosting each other because they don't want to get into the conflicts, right? So you have to remove the person from the situation. You need to focus on the problem that you are solving, and always clear your doubts in a video call session, never on a call, and lastly on text, because I told you the miscommunication increases when we either text or on a call, right? You're not able to understand their facial expressions. Are they faking up with you or not, right? So conflicts can be resolved best when you are doing on a video call. And second is, you need to understand that conflicts are a part of relationship, right? It might hamper your relationship if you are, moving away from the conflicts. Next, you should focus on your life too. Relationship is just a part of your life. There are career, there are friends, there are family, there are hobbies, right? So give the other person space and privacy, and you have yourself in that state of mind where you are focusing on other aspects of life. Let's say you are focusing on your career, you are going for an upskilling workshop, you are hanging out with your colleagues, then you are hanging out with your friends, you are spending time with your family. So give space to the other person also, and have space for yourself, for your self-care, and for your own life. And lastly, I would like to say that trust the process, right? You need to understand that many people have managed long distance to have a great relationship, right? And the problem is that most people don't think that long distance would work for them. It depends on you. If you have the faith and the trust, your bond is stronger, right? Then you can sustain any long distance relationship. Just have patience, build emotional intimacy, have resilience in the relationship, right? And if you can survive the test of long distance relationship, you can survive the most difficult part of a relationship. I hope you understood the concept of long distance relationship, what are the challenges faced in long distance relationship, and some of the solutions we provided you. Please comment down below what is your best technique to sustain a long distance relationship for you. Share this with your friends and family members who are in a long distance relationship. This might really help them, right? Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, Ask Life with Anmol, to create balance in your life. Keep growing.